Hi everybody, welcome back to New Jersey Real Estate Training. My name is Dave Blinder, your head instructor. I'm a licensed real estate agent at eXp Realty in New Jersey. I'm also a mentor for our brokerage. I'm here to help you whether you're an aspiring, newly licensed agent or a veteran of our industry as well. In today's training video, we're going to take a look at how to create your very own real estate market update graphic similar to the one on the screen. This is actually a logo or graphic I have found via a Google image search. Part of the screen has been blurred to protect the identity of the innocent. We're going to be using this as a basic style sheet so you can find any market update or real estate layout you like off of the internet. And I'm not encouraging you to copy another company or person's intellectual property, but you can use these color schemes, ideas, and shapes to make this your own. And this can make for a very nice campaign for email or social media. However, anytime you're preparing to send out real estate marketing, you should always be checking with your broker and potentially your local realtor board as well, so to make sure you're compliant. So again, this is a random graphic I pulled off the internet that I liked. You could select a different layout you like, different colors, different shapes, and try to recreate it using these steps we're looking at today. We're also checking out Pixlr.com, found at pixlr.com. I am not an affiliate. I don't receive kickbacks off them, and I don't know the management. It seems to be a free online graphic editor that could work out well if you do not have a paid subscription to Photoshop or another heavy-duty graphic editing app. So that's pixlr.com that we're exploring to make your own graphics. You also will need an active MLS membership. So in today's training, I'm logged into New Jersey MLS as an active agent. On New Jersey MLS, our analytics and stats are found under the stats bar. They may be found elsewhere on your own MLS. It does not matter which MLS you're a member of. They probably have some great analytics or tools you can use. But this is just for training purposes today. Under stats on New Jersey MLS, if I click on the Town Insights tool, we have a lot of great stuff here. And if I go to residential, I'm going to type in a town name. How about Paramus? So we've got information on current inventory, absorption rate, and if I zoom back a little bit, we have the sales trends on the bottom of New Jersey MLS. I'm going to click on last month for previous month sales trends. Because you can see they have average days on the market and average list price, I'm going to create mine with average sales price and days on the market for solds, however. So you can see that's pretty easy to find off of New Jersey MLS. Hopefully you can find that on your own MLS. As we move along, if you have questions on how I'm creating the graphics, just let me know at any time. Drop a comment down below. If you do have questions on onboarding with eXp Realty, I'd love to chat more with you about that. You could text me directly at 973-727-2037. You can reach me also at calendly.com/Dave Blinder. And please subscribe to my channel. I'm putting out new training regularly. Enough of the sales stuff. Let's get on with the trainings. We've got some stats from our MLS. We have a visual guideline of what we want to create. We've got a graphic editor. I'm going to click on Advanced Photo Editor on Pixlr. I'm going to click on Open Image. I'm going to open that graphic that I pulled off of Google. Again, this is a style sheet. We are not using someone else's registered trademarks or images or anything like that. What I want is their colors and shapes and their layout. It's very basic, but I find this one to be clean and modern, easy to read. That's why I like it. So we have this layers panel off to the right side of Pixlr. I'm going to hit the plus button, and I'm going to select plus and new shape. So we've got a gray square in the middle of the screen. I'm going to click on this fill button to change the fill color. And then I'm going to click the eyedropper button and select the same color of the market update banner in place. That's been sampled. I'm going to drag and drop this towards the upper left hand side. And to resize this and change the proportions, I'm going to click on this arrow for the arrange button. I'm going to click off of this lock icon under size. It's a small little icon here between the width and the height on Pixlr. Now I'm free to resize this rectangle. And I can hide these shapes at any time as we go along. I'm again just recreating their style sheet from scratch. I'm going to create a new shape layer, and I'm actually going to create the white background now. I'll change the fill to white. I'm going to move this and I'm going to drag it out so it encompasses, that's the square in the bottom right hand corner I'm using to click and drag and to resize to encompass the whole screen. If I need to resize the layers in the layer panel, I can click and drag to rearrange them, and I can hide these layers. So hopefully this is making sense. So I'm just recreating from scratch the layout that has been made by a prior marketing company, and then I'll be adding the text in my own branding afterwards. So I'm going to create this lighter gray banner by creating a new shape. Oops, there's the shape button. I'm going to sample that lighter gray by clicking the eyedropper button into their gray area. I'm going to position it in as best as I'm able to. I'm going to click on that arrange button, make sure it's not locked, so you can transform it as you like, drag in place. And we can see how this is unfolding by making these layers visible. I think I've got an extra layer in here potentially. You can delete any duplicate layers you make accidentally by clicking that trash can delete button. And if I hide the layers, we're back to our background graphic. I want to make some more of these lighter gray bars. I can click on the duplicate layer button here in the bottom right. We're just going to speed through this, pick up the pace, and create 2 more of those. I did have some graphic background. I'm not a professional per se, but I'm a seasoned photographer, and so I've done a lot of different marketing stuff in the past, so this is kind of second nature to me. But take your time, don't feel overwhelmed, you can do this. Folks with big budgets will often have their VA or admin or marketing person making their social media campaigns. So once you make the big bucks, you can pay other folks to do this. We're looking at making your own marketing assets today. Whoops, I don't want to duplicate that. Well, another shape. We're going to recreate that thin bar. We can see this is falling down below. We're going to drag it up, so this is up top for now. We are going to sample that color from the dark gray box because I want to use their color scheme. And then I'm going to resize the thin banner. Start dropping this into place. You just click and drag the corners to resize. Whoops, I do not want to do that. If you need to undo your last step, press the Command Z or Control Z to undo your mess ups. That looks good enough to me. So here is what we have so far. So we've got a basic style sheet now recreated. And there are ways in Pixlr to save out these templates. So if you want to use this market update you're creating time and time again, there are a few ways to do that, I believe. You could click on the save button here, and you can export this as a lossless PNG, so then you would just have your background layer saved. So I don't think that's a bad idea. That way you have a blank slate, high resolution, so you can always start from scratch, but not reinvent the wheel every time. So you have your layout saved. I highly recommend that. You don't want to be doing this every time you create a market update. As you know, this is very, very timely, and time is money, but do it once and do what you like. If you click over to the document area, it looks like there is a PXZ type of format as well, which is how you would, that's a file type I believe unique to Pixlr, which is an interactive background layer to come back to this. For future proofing though, I'd recommend also saving it out as a PNG and or high resolution JPEG of just your background, so you don't have to do this more than twice if you really like how your new style sheet is going. So we can do that. We'll save out the PNG. It's lossless again, so there's no loss of clarity. So you always bring this in and then just write new text over it. Bring in new data constantly. Whatever you want. Market update, template, PNG. Save it somewhere where you're not going to lose it. That's saving my downloads folder. Little ad popping up, and then I can close that out. That's their business model, Pixlr, I suppose. So we are moving along. So how about we start adding some text, such as that nice market update they have up top. So to add new text, you could click on the plus button and click on text here. If you double click into that, you can start typing out the words you want to choose, such as market update. I'm going to select that text, and now we have some options for editing up top. I want to make sure that's a white fill to match the contrasting color they have in the upper bar. You can resize that using this slider area. We can start dragging this into place to see how it's looking. And we want to go a little larger on that. Let's see how this is shaping up so far. We'll turn on the white background. Add a few layers in. And we'll bring our text up top. Okay, so I think that's shaping up. You can select different fonts by toggling down, so they have a lot of really nice free fonts. I recommend using something professional that doesn't look handwritten, that could look a little immature, and you might want to choose something that you feel looks luxurious as well. So there are different options for your text. A lot of different free options. There are paid customizations as well. I'm just expanding that text field a little bit by dragging it out. And now I think I should be sizing up, to fill up more of our screen. I'm actually going to type in a number for, pressing too many buttons, but I'm still here. And I think that I can actually type in a numerical value into Pixlr. Let's try 110, see how it looks. Okay. So that is starting to shape up. So we are again pulling this information off of New Jersey MLS. So the information I want to bring in is, you can choose what you like from your market update. They've got their active listings, so we could put our active listings in parameters if we wanted to. So again, we're going to make another text layer. I recommend creating a separate text area for your numerical value as well as your headings here. And the purpose of that is you could save out your headings and change the numbers completely separately, use a larger font or color, such as you can see the font is much larger on their numerical values here. So active listings in Paramus is what we're doing here. Again, you've got your fill color up top. We are going to move that up. Position that over our gray bar once it's in place. And you can toggle on and off the layers just to see how you're doing with progress. I'm going to size up my font just a little bit. About 38. That could be pretty close to what they have here. Again, you can use all different types of fonts. We're not going to customize that too much for the sake of brevity for today's video, but that is pretty close with that overlay. So I'm going to reactivate my visible layers by clicking on these I buttons. And our number of active listings in Paramus is 26. That's what New Jersey MLS is telling me. Thank you folks for aggregating that. Don't need that window open. And I'm going to select to add a new text layer as I indicated to add our numerical values in. So that was 26 if I'm not mistaken. I want to make that a big number that kind of jumps off the page as well. Bold is good, and you want to grab your client's information and make your client's attention and make the information very easily accessible and digestible to your folks you're sending this out to. Prospects, friends, and family, and your sphere of influence on social media as well, potentially. Make sure you always check with your broker for compliance. They don't like you doing things they don't know about or haven't approved of. Okay, so they are even bigger. You can see them toggling back and forth with our original background style sheet from Google. And I'm using the very same colors of the style sheet I found on the internet. Font size number 110 seems similar to the one I found on the image search. If you would like a copy of the style sheet that I found on the internet or my finished one, I'm happy to provide that for you as well. So, where are we here? So next we are going to create, we have our average list price. I actually want to put in the average sold price. However, I'm going to change this up a little bit and put some information I think is pertinent to my clients and sphere of influence. So create a new shape layer. I'm going to do average sale price. How about in Paramus for Feb? How about January 2022? Let's drag that in position, see how it's looking. That is looking not too shabby to me. I'm going to reactivate that layer. You do want things to line up. If folks in the graphic art world will tell you it's pretty amateur if your layers are not arranged in a linear fashion, so there's a flow and continuity here. Oops, text popping up. Thank you, Joe Grasso, for sending me a text. I'll get right back to you. So we have our average sale price coming in on our market update form here on Pixlr. So again, I'm pulling that information off of New Jersey MLS, so I'm actually going to copy and paste that number because I'm bad at transposing, and you definitely do not want to transpose information incorrectly. New text layer. That's down in the bottom right now. Let's bring it up top. And let's copy and paste that value in. Use the arrange button to move it over. Let's see how it's fitting in. And let's compare that to, so they have a larger font. So I am going to, again, size up our text here. You can come back to your text settings by hitting the T on the toolbar. So you have all of these different font options. You have some different styles. You have your justify areas, line spacing, letter spacing too. A lot of different ways to customize it. We are just going to manually size up so that these prices are jumping off the page at our recipients, and they don't have to strain their eyes to read this valuable information we're providing as the neighborhood expert. That is starting to shape up pretty well for me. And I apologize that this is a long process, but once you've done this a couple of times, this gets much easier, and you can always, again, save out at least your background so you don't have to replicate this. You could also try saving that PXZ type file to re-import that back into Pixlr so it's a customizable graphic. But at least if you have your background in place, you're not doing this every time. I know that time can be certainly a short commodity for many of us. Okay, we're powering through, so we've got our average days of market. I might want to do that average days of market of sold listings, but that's just me. New text layer. Bring that up so it's visible. If a layer is disappearing on you, it's probably not in the proper order. So pay attention to that. I know it can get tricky or confusing. Average days on market of sold listings in Paramus. Let's use the arrange button. Whoops. If you grab the wrong thing, use the Control Z button to undo it and grab the correct stuff. Drop it into place. Okay, this is shaping up for me. I want to rearrange this a little bit better so there's a little bit of order in this chaos of my different words here. Popping back over to our MLS, we can see our average days in the market for sold homes in Paramus looks to be 42 DOM, or days on the market. So, new text layer. I think you know where this is heading by now. And I promise we are making great progress here. Thank you for following along. Thanks for your patience. I hope this is helpful to you. That's my goal. So, again, I'm terrible at transposing. That is not my forte. It's 42 days in the market. That's why you should double, triple, quadruple check what you're doing. You need to have accurate information. It's very, very important, and you should probably be copying and pasting this from the MLS to make sure you're not transposing incorrectly. After a while, you have many, many layers here, so actually I can move this out of the way for now to make sure I'm grabbing that 42. Let's bring it down, and let's then slap that average sale price back in place. Let's size up on our text by going over to the T on the toolbar to the left. Many tools here. We're not going to go through them all today. We're doing the bare minimum to make a nice graphic to get you going on social media success for Realtor and to become your neighborhood expert. These are great exercises of digging into your local market trends, and I find it really helps your confidence. You learn a lot in this process. There's so much you can learn as a real estate agent, so you should always be investing your time in knowing about your inventory and what's going on so you can have educated conversations with your friends, family, or the person in line next to you at your supermarket or local coffee shop too. It's very interesting stuff, these trends, and folks like talking about them. I definitely enjoy talking about them. I might size up just a wee bit on that, or potentially make it the same font size. So we have font size 110 on our number of active listings. Why not make this the same font size for continuity? Continuity is good in the design and graphics world. It's in also video or just about any visual arts. So this is really coming together. They have some MLS disclaimer notes here. It's always great to check with your broker on their preferred disclaimer verbiage here. You don't want to take too much accountability for the information the MLS has provided. So I'm going to add a smaller text layer. This is going to be sized down. Oops. Again, it's easy to click on the wrong thing here. We've got a lot of blank text fields here. Let's bring this up top. So we're clicking on the right thing. Let's click on the text icon. Let's click on that placeholder. I believe it's Latin, and I don't know what it means because I don't know Latin. How about as of today's date is probably the 18th, thereabouts. Information per NJMLS. Oops, let's do stats. How about information likely to change? Why not? We're going to move that text layer down. It might start disappearing. If so, it's because you have the same color text on the color of background. So they've actually made this a gray color. I'm going to sample gray from here, make that gray text. They have a much smaller font, which works out well for them. So I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. I'm going to manually size down my text as well. They actually have a finer font here, which works out well. So I can grab a font that looks a little finer as well. And now we are going to see how we are looking. So you should be saving your progress regularly. In case you have an internet outage, again, I know this is very, very time consuming. The name of the game, though, is to do this once and get it right. So now that we have information pertinent to the current month, saving this as a JPEG is not going to help you for next month. So that was the purpose of saving out our style sheet as a PNG. You could actually leave something like this blank as a graphic. So we're just going to kind of actually pause everything we're doing now. Wait just a second. Because what if I hid these numerical values per se? And what if I remove that month for now? Okay, that's okay. Just going a little crazy here with the I'm trying to have the spacing fall in line for later. I'm actually going to do a left align here, I believe. Text to stop that from shifting over. It's under format. We'll do a left align. That will make my return job easier. And if we're doing a left align in one area, we should do it in more than one. And I think this is actually starting to shape up anyways. Whoops. All heck just broke loose. But that's okay. So if you take a look at what I've built here now, so we have a this is a template, means you don't have to go through these very time-consuming steps every time you want to create one of these. So you should get in the habit of doing this often. I advocate for, as a real estate coach, to dive into your neighborhood stats regularly. You should be doing this monthly for multiple towns. It's how you stay on top of things, have these educated conversations. You can always choose to be the most informed and most diligent agent in your area. You might not be able to choose to be the wealthiest, you might not choose your height, but you can choose to put in the most work, and I've envisioned this as work. For the people I train, they have to take a lot of accountability, and if you're not putting in the work and doing the hours and doing the research, you probably haven't earned your commission or your success. And what I've found in my career is the more time I'm willing to commit, the more success returns to me. So real estate, being a real estate agent, is all about long ball. I don't know that there's a whole lot of short-term successes. I haven't found that in real estate. I'm in it for the long haul, and I enjoy this journey. So again, we've got a really cool repeatable template now. So we've just temporarily turned off our numerical values, but they can be turned on quite easily as well. But you could save this out now as a PNG. A PNG is a lossless graphic file. It doesn't get grainy or pixelated or anything like that. And you can then come in next month and just drop in the new stats from your MLS. So we have those values now, though. We have not entered our agent information, and we always want to be branded as an agent. We want folks to know that we are asking for your business regularly, that we are learning the numbers and on top of the market, and we're here to represent them and answer any questions they have along the way. Be their realtor before they need a realtor by being the source of this information regularly. Let them know you're out there working hard for them. So we had an agent's headshot, as well as their contact information and stuff like that down below. Again, I blurred that. But we are going to bring in my digital assets, my media. I always recommend saving them to your desktop or a folder. You'll use your headshot time and time again. Get the high-res version from your photographer or your marketing person. And I'm sorry if I'm covering some of the screen. I can zoom out of that on Pixlr so you can get a bigger picture of where we're at for now. We've got plenty of resolution, though, when we export this as a graphic that can easily be texted out, emailed out, all that good stuff. So to bring in my branding for now, we're going to go to Layer, Add Image as Layer. This stuff's got to be downloaded on your computer ready. eXp Realty actually has beautiful logos and branding. You have to make sure you're keeping track of their newest graphics, as they may change from time to time. Let's take a look at what the current eXp graphic is. Again, outstanding company. I'd love to tell you more about onboarding with us and the type of training they provide and I provide as a coach, mentor, and sponsor. Let's bring in their logo. So that's pretty big, right? I don't think we wanted that big. For compliance, though, you cannot make logos minuscule, Actually, this is a great exercise. Is you can't change the proportions either. That's not professional and also not compliant. So by clicking that X button, I'm locking the ratio again on that. I believe this is the Arrange tool. So do not distort your brand logo. Be compliant, respect the company, and have a professional appearance. So we'll keep that EXP logo nice and big, the same size as our other information up top. We're proud of our company, and you should, for New Jersey, you always have to display your brokerage's proper logo. That's compliance. It's part of our role as being a real estate agent, letting folks know who we are and who we work with. Next, we are going to head over and bring in our equal housing logo. We're going to go to Layer. We are going to click on Add Image as Layer. We are going to bring in the Fair Housing Act logo next and hit Upload. This is important for compliance. And we are going to size down on the Equal Housing Opportunity logo, though we're not minimizing its importance whatsoever. We're going to place that down below, and this is the area we're going to be entering our credentials as a local real estate expert as well. And that's really the purpose of this. We're providing our branding as well as giving a lot of free content information. So in the business world, we have asks where we're asking for business, but we should have gives too where we're contributing and maybe not expecting anything imminent or immediate in return either. So we want to be giving the information, be the purveyors of it, and folks will recognize this effort we're putting out all the time, that we want them to know exactly what's going on, and also learn more about our branding and our company and what the services that we offer are. Okay, so let's just keep bringing our assets. We may be moving things around a little later. And if you like the template, this is another great time to save out your potential PNG here. And I can just go ahead and give that a shot. I actually do like it quite a bit myself, and I like it more than I thought I would. So call it Market Update, some way you'll recall it. Lossless. So PNG file, if you're not from the graphics world, a PNG file is often superior than a JPEG. I'm not going to get bogged down in the nitty gritty of it. A JPEG is a lossy file. So picture a JPEG as a cassette tape, like an old style cassette. Maybe you've seen those audio cassettes in a museum if you're a millennial, but we, the Generation Xers, remember them very well and favorably in our Walkman portable audio devices before there was MP3s. So if a JPEG is like a cassette tape, PNG is like a digital audio file. You can move it around, you can create extra copies. It doesn't degrade in quality. But every time you copy a cassette to cassette, it degrades the quality. You're compressing it. That's the issue with the JPEG. I'm not going to go too in depth, but so a PNG will have superior clarity to a JPEG, though it could be a larger file at times, potentially. So the free ad's popping up. Pixlr is great, giving us a great service, so they're certainly entitled for this advertising revenue. I'm not clicking on any of it. However, so we're starting to build out our credentials here. And whoops, I'm zooming in too quickly here. My touchpad has on my iMac has some zoom functionality. So we are going to go to Layer, continue going to Add Layer, Add Image as Layer. That's how we bring in our headshot, our brokerage logo, the Fair Housing Act. You can typically find that easily through a Google search if you don't have a copy ready. It's a good thing to keep handy at all times. So I have my super duper, there's my shirt and my buttons, right? Boom, done. Not quite so. We need to zoom out far to grab these control handles on my headshot to bring me back into the stratosphere of advertising here. I like my own headshot to be prominent because I have heard that your brand is your face. It creates trust, your name for recognition, as well as your reputation. So again, your face, your name, and your reputation is what you have. It's worth a heck of a lot to you. So you need to manage those assets so people can make a connection between your reputation and your face, and get more familiar with you if you're starting to farm a new neighborhood. I do not recommend being a secret agent. You want folks to know what you're doing, and the more people who know how much diligence you're putting in and your enthusiasm, the more people will want to work with you, I believe. So I believe in continuity of a headshot too. So if you have an image you like, it's been done professionally, I think you might want to use that for a few years. It's just my opinion. I am certainly wrong on things at times. So now we must bring in my name. We have to identify the agent, right? So that's got to be your legal name. My legal name is David, though I consider myself a Dave. But the New Jersey Real Estate Commission considers me a Dave, so use your legal name. If you have a nickname that you like and is appropriate, you can put that in quotation marks if you like in New Jersey, maybe in your state as well. I don't know all the regulations, all 50 states. Check with your broker if you're not sure what to do, if you have a different name, or perhaps come from a different country, of how to add those credentials properly for compliance, because compliance is a good word, and compliance keeps you out of trouble. We want to not get in trouble and just earn an honest living. So there's my name, my legal name. There is my real life cell number. So again, any questions on any of my content, reach out to me. If you're looking to onboard with eXp Realty, I am always here for you. I'm excited to help you and get you going to build your business. That is my great passion, to help other folks. So we have our eXp office number in New Jersey there as well. I'm going to do a justify again on the font. We have a left justify here. That worked out well. Text, format, align, left. So text, format, align, left is where you find that. Hope you can follow along. I may need to size down the text just a tiny bit. I think I am. What does 45 size text look like? That is starting to look pretty good to me. So this is now really starting to come together, in my opinion. You know, there might be a little bit of fine tuning here or there. And this is all about making your marketing your own. It's up to you how you do it, so long as you are compliant. Always check with your broker. Again, make sure you're using the proper logo. Don't alter it. It has to be obvious. Can't be smaller than other fonts typically. Make sure you have that equal housing opportunity logo in there, so folks know that you're operating within the proper laws of real estate. Use your legal name. In New Jersey, we must always provide our direct phone number and office number. In our state, a realtor does not necessarily have to provide their license number unless asked for. I believe in some other states the advertising rules are different, that you must at times potentially I'm going to zoom in a little bit while I'm chatting and going off on a tangent so you can get a clear idea of what I'm creating here, of how this is coming together. In other states, I believe as a real estate agent, you may have to display your license number. I've seen that commonly on advertising. It seems like California and Delaware. I'm not certain. So you should get familiar with your state policy, and your broker is a great place to check, or your MLS board can also provide the information on how that's done, or your local Realtor board. But in New Jersey, we have to have our mobile and our office number. Other states, potentially, you don't have to have your office number. I couldn't say. I am not a global compliance expert in real estate just yet, but that could be a good goal. So this is shaping up pretty well. I'm going to bring back on my numbers for the solds in Paramus, New Jersey. It's a great city. I've lived there before. I had a great rental with some of my best friends after college, and I really enjoyed that time. We lived on a really cool street in a beautiful house. I skateboarded there with my buddies a lot, and enjoyed it. It was a great proximity to many, many employers in Paramus. A lot of great different cities in Bergen County, New Jersey to choose from. So, if we take a step back here, this is what we have. So we have created a market update from scratch. I know that took quite a while. I'm at 45 minutes and counting now. But if you save out the PNG without the numerical values, you have a template in place now where you can then add in your month later. We're just going to put in February 2022 in this case. And again, you do need to display. You will need to add this back later. It's important to let people know the time frame that you're providing this data from the MLS. You don't want to misquote it. And actually, this is past month, so as of February for the month of January, if I'm not mistaken. Always double check this stuff. So we can activate these different layers in the Pixlr app by clicking on them. So anything that's unchecked, I'm checking back on. We can double check. We got the process I like is revert back to the MLS. We've got 26 active listings. We have average of 42 days on the market. And I know I copied and pasted the average sold price, but that's right there. We have an average list price too, which is significantly higher, it looks like, which is above $1 million, believe it or not. A lot of great wealth and great opportunities in Bergen County, New Jersey. And if we compare that, you can always check out what the prior rendition was. But this has been very long-winded, so my recommendations, as you recall, were to save it out without your numbers in place. So you have this repeatable template to step and repeat that you can use this over and over again. You're investing your time in learning graphic arts and making your branding. Save this to cloud so you can access it from anywhere. You don't want to lose this, as it's a pretty big time investment on your part. So, I can go ahead and export my final high resolution JPEG, in this case for the month of February 22, as high resolution, no compression, like a cassette tape. When it gets compressed, it gets distorted. You don't want things grainy. The lower the quality, the smaller the file, but the more grainy it gets. So actually 90% could be a good compromise of file size potentially for emailing or texting out your graphics. A nice little square. Squares are perfect for Instagram. So, my next step in this case would be to email it to my state broker. I reach him at nj.broker@exprealty.net. They've got a 24-hour turnaround time for branding compliance. They're working very hard to support I think it's 2,500 EXP Realty agents in New Jersey. We've got 75,000 agents globally, and that's rising quickly at our brokerage. So it is the place to be. Come on board if you're not here already. But regardless, I hope this training on making a market update has helped you out. I think it's fun. It is time consuming. I am a visual type person. I like things to be modern, straightforward, and clear cut. And I want my branding and marketing to be the very best. I want it to be top notch. I want it to look professional, and that requires a time investment. You could hire a VA to do this stuff, and they might do a great job for a great price as well. So there's more than one ways to skin the proverbial cat. So thank you for tuning in. Please subscribe. I hope this helped you. If any questions, just drop them in the comments below the video. I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great day.